rights. Let me make sure I got all my shit right. You feel me? Shout out to April MC in the building. What's going on, girl? Shout out to Iceberg S in the building. What's good? What's good? Man, today's show is going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be so goddamn good. I'm hoping to, get through to some people, man. You feel what I'm saying? Because, listen, I get sick and tired of the bullshit that people are spreading around. And then what happens is that they live their lives based off of the bullshit. You understand? Like that's interesting to me. Meaning that you listen to a lot of bullshit, you don't research, you don't actually question the things that you're being told. You understand? And then you live your life on some bullshit, right? So I want to go into this today. You feel what I'm saying? But before we go into all of that, though, you know what we got to do. You know what we got to do before we go into all of that shit. Let's just get to it.
Everybody has game. The thing is, though, is your game weak or is your game strong? See, that's the difference. See, having weak game is synonymous with having no game. But you have game, you have a strategy to get what you want, but your strategy might be weak.
I always tell these guys, snap your fingers. And I tell them, snap your fingers. Like, you hear that sound? I'm like, what is that sound? Bitch, that's a 17-year-old that just turned 18. That's a 19-year-old that just turned 21. They are just they're everywhere.
Hi, how you doing? You think I give a fuck about how you doing, bitch? All I want you to motherfucking do is open your mouth and say something so I can hear how your voice sounds so it can tell me how the fuck to get at you.
Your feelings are not facts. Because you feel like whatever you feel like, you can't get me to believe that there's more than two genders. You understand what I'm saying? And truthfully, I'm not sorry because I can't really make facts out of your fucking feelings. Matter of fact, fuck your feelings. There's only two genders. Only two genders. You trying to tell me that genders are neutral and niggas is trying to come up with 92 fucking genders, bro.
There's this narrative now that it's okay for a man to cry, and it's really pushing this sensitivity, express yourself, express your feelings. One thing I've always respected about my father growing up, I never seen my dad cry. Me and him would get into arguments, we would go at it, we would fight. I would say the harshest things to him I could to hurt his feelings, but I never broke him.
Shoot, just the right pair of shoes get your dick sucked. Just the right pair of shoes. Women don't, seriously, you could look like Boris Cujo, you'd be 6'8", have a print down to your knee. They look at those shoes, they bust, they just like, oh no, not him. Nah, boo-boo.
The bitches shine because of the nigga. Period. And when it's functioning correctly, that's the way it is. So on that note, dick is a gift. It's a gift. It's a gift.
You got to play your way from start to the end. That's having game. Because if you do that, what you expect is what's going to happen. See, don't no accidents happen with motherfuckers that got game.
Yeah, we about to get it in. We about to get it in. So shout out to everybody tuning in. Remember tonight we are going to be doing the live show with me and Miles show. That's going to be on Patreon. This one's not going to be a Patreon because this one is staying up because I'm going to be using videos from other people when I'm discussing this topic. You feel what I'm saying? We got the call-in number. So the call-in number is 516-371-224, 516-371-224. Make sure you guys put a Q in the chat if you got the question. And K-Zaggin20, shout out to, I'm actually about to use one of your fucking videos, K-Zaggin. And happy late birthday to you. Happy late birthday to you, my brother. Matter of fact, K-Zaggin, let me know if you want a link because I'm about to use one of your videos and shit. So hit me up. I'll actually send you the link. So if you want to come through. Hold on, let me send K-Zaggin the link real quick if he wants to come through and make this shit happen. You feel what I'm saying? Because I'm about to go in today. I'm about to go the fuck in today. You feel what I'm saying? But let me send K-Zaggin a joint real quick, just so he'll have it and shit. me see, K-Zagging, all right. All right, so K-Zagging, I sent you the link, so if you want to come through, just, you know, you got the link and all of that good shit, you feel me? But, so today I wanted to talk about this whole body count thing, because I did a video the other day where I was talking about how, you know, women, it was titled, No Woman Has a High Body Count. And I was basically making the point that based off of the amount of dick a woman could get if she wanted to, right? The amount of dick that most women get is a super, 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 super small amount of dick that she's getting when it comes to a body count situation. So no one really has a high body count. Now, again, high is subjective, right? But I used the example of if I gave someone $3,650 or somebody gave me $3,650 and they said I had to split it with you and I only gave you $25, you'd say that's a little bit of money versus how much money I have, right? They say you could split it however you want with this motherfucker and I get to give you $25, right? So that means that that's not really that much money. But if a woman had 3,650 guys try to holler at her and want to fuck her, and she's fucked 25 dudes, right? Then how come that's a lot? You understand what I'm saying? And I use the example of if a woman is 28 years old and she's been getting hollered at since she was 18 and only one guy a day, only one, tried to holler at her. By the time she was 28, she had sex with 25 guys. How is that high? Right? How is that high? It doesn't make any sense. And we know it's more than one guy trying to holler. You understand what I'm saying? So imagine there's thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of niggas trying to fuck. And she fucked 25 dudes. And you're like, that's a high body count. And again, this goes for guys who don't really understand women, don't really understand game because they're not actually having sex. If you're having sex, you're the guy that is contributing to the body count. Now, let me say this real quick before I get into this, because there's a lot I got to cover today, because I got a few videos I want to show you guys, right? Just to break down some of this shit, right? First of all, I titled this, A Woman's High Body Count Doesn't Matter for a Long-Term Relationship, right? Now, the reason why I put this out is because that's usually the argument. They're like, well, you know, I don't care if she, you know, if I'm not going to wife her up. I don't care if it's just a chick I'm fucking. I don't care what her body count is. But if for a long-term relationship, that counts. That's what I keep hearing guys say. It counts for a long-term relationship, right? This is what people are saying. Now, what I'm saying is that it doesn't. And the reason why guys are saying that it counts is because their argument is that, oh, she's going to probably cheat on you. She's going to want to fuck other guys because she had so many other guys. Now, it's funny how men, for some reason, just really, this is what I find funny. The guys who have the least sexual experience with women for somehow understand women's sexual nature the most. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird that the guys who have the least sexual experience with women understand a woman's sexual experience the most? I just find that weird. I just find that weird. You a nigga who hardly ever got any sex, but you know all about how women like sex, enjoy sex, want to fuck around, but you have the least sexual experience. How is that so? That's interesting. You know exactly how women think, what women want, how women are sexually, but you have the least sexual experience. It's very interesting, right? Now, this is the thing. I use myself as an example, right? And let me say this first before I get into the example, like the meat and potatoes of what I'm trying to say, right? What I find funny is this, because I'm going to talk about myself and my situation, right? I am in an open marriage, for those who don't know, even though I said it a million times and I've expressed this a million times. And what I want to say is to all the people who try to sort of use that as some sort of insult and like, oh, Locario, your wife is fucking all these guys and your wife is doing all this other shit. Guys, that's not an insult. I'm in a non-monogamous relationship. See, if you don't know what a non-monogamous relationship is, you need to shut the fuck up and listen and understand. See, when guys are trying to come at me for that, I understand you don't understand non-monogamous relationships, or you do, and you're just being disingenuous. Right now, with that being said, and also I'll say this, is that if dudes ask me about this, you understand, or are coming at it disrespectful, I have no more response for you, because either you're too stupid to understand or you're just being ridiculous and being spiteful and trying to hate, and I ain't got no words for you. So we're done. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I want to say for that. Now, with that being said, I'm using myself as an example. Me and my wife have been together for damn near 15 years. My wife has a high body count, in relation to what guys think is high. And another thing I want to say about that is this. What is the high body count, right? It's all dependent on the person talking. It's their opinion. Because for some guys, it's like, well, if she had sex with more than 2 guys, that's a high body count. If she has sex with more than 10 guys, she has a high body count. If she has sex with more than 15 guys, she had a high body count. So what is the high body count? There is no specific number. So it's all based off of your own situation, right? It's based off of your own thought process, right? Now, what you have to understand is that the reason why guys think that they can't have a relationship with a woman who has a high body count is because they think that this woman can't pair bond, right? They think that she's going to jump from dick to dick. You got to understand that a woman is going to be in a relationship with you. If she's sexually attracted to you, she's going to bond to you. And if you actually know how to maintain a relationship. You understand? So if she's sexually attracted to you and you know how to maintain a relationship and you know how to actually have a long-term relationship, that chick will fuck with you, meaning she will be with you. So now what guys will say is, but Locario, what you're saying is some bullshit because you can't use yourself as an example because we're talking about a monogamous relationship. And if a woman is in a monogamous sex with all these guys, then she's not going to be able to, bond with you and she's going to be cheating. Now I ask you guys this question. So if that's the case, right? Can't we also say men can't pair bond? If that's the case, because are all these men who are fucking all these women, when you get into a long-term committed monogamous relationship, are you all being faithful? So are we saying niggas don't cheat? Is that what we're saying? Are we saying guys don't cheat? Is that what we're saying? Is this? I'm just asking. Because if that's the case, then what we're saying is that all these guys, they're fucking all these girls, but guys have the capacity to not fuck any more girls when they get into a monogamous relationship because men don't cheat. You understand? I heard black men don't cheat. I heard that's the talk of the town, right? Men don't cheat. Soon as we get into we could fuck all the women that we want. And then when we say to a girl, hey, you're going to be my girlfriend and I'm going to be faithful to you, we can just be faithful, right? If that's the case, how come women can't do it? Huh? How come women can't do it? This is what I'm trying to explain to you guys. So a lot of guys say, oh, but men and women are different and blah, blah, blah. I understand men and women have differences, but also men and women have similarities. So what I'm saying is when it comes to sex, what makes you think that you can fuck all these girls and then be faithful, but she can't fuck all these guys and be faithful? See, he's talking about men don't cheat, we exercise our options. You see, and this is the crazy part, is like guys, us men who are supposed to be the logical ones, we're coming up with all this garbage talking about men don't cheat, we exercise our options. Bullshit. You're cheating. So if you are cheating also, right? If you're cheating, then why is it this like different thing for women? Because again, if dudes was all faithful, like if guys was fucking all these women and then all of a sudden you get into a long-term monogamous relationship and you was faithful as fucking 99.99999% of guys was faithful as fuck, I would shut the fuck up. But we know that's not true, right? But the thing is, guys say that a woman can't have a high body count and be in a long-term relationship because they think that she can't pair bond, right? And this is the funny part. A dude wrote in a comment the other day, he said something to the effect of, he was basically saying like the same thing a lot of guys say, where they say, the girl, because she had sex with all these guys, it's easier for her to cheat. Now, let me explain something to you guys. And I think I heard Alan Roger Curry touch on this. I think I heard maybe Ron Wills touch on this in a certain way, right? But what you have to understand is this. A woman who's been with a guy, let's say you have a girl who's been with a guy for like 5, 6, maybe 7 years, and she's only been with him, right? that means that that guy has more of a chance to turn that girl out than a girl fucking 10 or 15 random dudes. I'm gonna say that again. A woman who's been with a guy for a long period of time, meaning, let's say you have a girl who only had 2 guys she had sex with. But those 2 guys, one of the guys she was with for 7 years, another guy she was with for like, I don't know, another 6, 8 years or whatever, right? But she only been with 2 guys. The longer the woman has been with the man, the more likely he has the chance to turn her out. What does that mean, turn her out? That means that he's in a situation where he's done something sexually to that woman that she likes and that she's hooked on. So now, because that girl's hooked on that sexual act or that type of interaction, she's more likely to cheat on you or go to other dicks to get that same type of satisfaction. You understand? So if you have a chick who just kind of like smashed a dude here, smashed a dude here, smashed a dude here, if we're talking about her being faithful, that girl who smashed 15 dudes is more likely to be faithful than the girl who was only with 1 or 2 guys who turned her out. So what are you guys talking about? You understand? And see, dudes is like, oh, but a chick is going to be so influenced by the amount of dudes or the dudes that she fucked with. Not really. See, a woman will be more influenced by a guy she's been with for a longer period of time. Check this out. If you're an American, right? If you're an American and you went to London for a weekend, 3 days, right? You're an American. You went to London for 3 days. And then you went to Australia 2 months later for like another 3 days, right? Do you think that the 3 days you were in London and the 3 days you were in Australia, you have now picked up an Australian and London accent in 3 days? Huh? So in 3 days, you picked up a London accent, then you went to Australia, in 3 days, you picked up an Australian accent. No, get the fuck out of here. Now, if you were in London for maybe, I don't know, 3 years, right? Maybe you would pick up a London accent, maybe. Right? So if you have a woman who had a bunch of one-night stands versus a woman who's been with this guy for this long, who has the more influence? Who has more influence? You understand? Who has more influence? All right, so 447, I see you in the chat. I mean, in the call, but I want to get to some of these videos because I got a few videos that I want to show. So I got a K-Zagging video, and I got 2 more short videos that I want to show about, because we're going to get into this whole pair bonding shit. We're going to get into this whole women retain the DNA of every man she slept with, because I know niggas always on, oh, well, you know, she has the guy, she's got the sperm and the DNA and all that other shit. And we're going to talk about this whole microchimerism thing, because this is what dudes want to bring up and they don't even know what the fuck micro is. Right? You don't have to take what I'm saying for face value, but I want you guys to get into the concept of questioning. You understand? So wait. Locario high body count video is wrong. LOL, female biology is evolved to lose ability to pair bond after like 5 to 7 guys. Fam. Stop. Bro. I just told you that my wife has been with more than 7 dudes in her life. You understand what I'm saying? Bro, there's porn stars who have fucking husbands. What are you talking about? Exactly. April says she's been with more than 7 guys in her life. And we're bonding like a motherfucker. You understand what I'm saying? What are y'all talking about? What are y'all talking about? You have swinger couples. It's in the goddamn like title. Swinger couples. How the fuck are you? You know what I'm saying? But let's get into this video real quick. Hold on, let me get into this video real quick. Let's do this. This is my dude, K Zaggin, who made a fucking masterful video about this whole pair bonding shit. I'm gonna comment on this stuff too, man, because I was like, these motherfuckers need to hear what the fuck is going on. Let me raise this shit real quick. Let me get rid of this commercial real quick, though, because you know how this should go.
Albert Langdon. I teach symbology.
Get rid of this commercial shit.
Also buried within the cap.
All right. All right, let me put a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear that. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear that. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear that. Just put a 1 in the chat so I can just see if y'all can hear before I go in and I go in. You feel me? All right, let's do this. All right, let's make this happen.
Man, we back at it again, man. Setting the record straight regarding pair bonding. We got to do this because guys still don't get it. So check this out. In biology, a pair bond is the strong affinity that develops in some species between a mating pair, often leading to the production and rearing of offspring and potentially a lifelong bond. Now, I've said this often, and I'm gonna say it again, okay?
We normally start.
God damn, they just be having the commercials heavy. Jesus Christ. Hold on, let me get past these commercials real quick.
And then
the term pair bonding, right, was coined in the 1940s, okay? It is a term that's used frequently in the social biology and evolutionary biology circles, right? Now, listen to what I'm about to say. The term often implies either a lifelong socially monogamous relationship or a stage of mating interaction in socially monogamous species. It is sometimes used in reference to human relationships. Did y'all hear what I just said? Let me repeat what I just said. It is sometimes used in reference to human relationships. What does that mean? That means there is no proof. There are no studies that have been done on humans.
See, let me stop it right there. See, this is what I'm talking about. No proof, no studies on humans. None. And this is the funny part. Every time I ask a motherfucker to send me a study or some scientific thing of study or something, I never get any type of scientific fucking study. All I get is you sending me articles or a blog post by some guy who's not a scientist just giving their opinion. You understand? Or they'd be like, hey, this study says after a woman had sex with more than one guy, that means that their marriages failed. But I'm like, where is the science in this? Who made the study? What website is this? How did they do this study? How did they actually know that it was specifically the fact that these women had sex with another person that created the relationship going down the drain? You understand what I'm saying? Like every time when I got a study, they never had anything that showed any of those type of things. And usually the study was from some guy who wasn't even a fucking scientist. You understand what I'm saying? But let's continue.
As it relates to pair bonding, the only studies done were in labs on rodents in birds. Okay, so they observed these rodents and birds over a specified amount of time as it relates to mating rituals, as it relates to them rearing their offspring together. And they said, hey, these species, these animals are socially monogamous. Now, I did a video, okay, breaking down social monogamy versus sexual monogamy. They are two different things, okay? The problem with a lot of people, okay, a lot of guys who aren't really that intelligent, in my opinion, okay?
I agree, actually. There's a lot of dudes who aren't that intelligent because, one, they don't actually think for themselves. Two, they don't do any research. Three, they're not actually living real life, right? Because, again, most of the guys who talk about this shit, they are not in long-term relationships. They haven't been in long-term relationships. So how do they know? You understand? Then on top of that, if they were in long-term relationships, how do they actually know the body count of the women that they are with? And usually what happens is if you're the type of guy who has issues with body count, the girls you're with are not going to tell you their real body count. You understand what I'm saying? See, when I talk to women, they tell me the real body count. Now, the reason why they tell me the real body count is because they know I don't give a fuck and I'm not going to judge them. But if they see that you're a judgmental motherfucker, they're not going to tell you the real body count. And a lot of y'all think y'all can tell the real body count based off of, oh, well, she's like this and she's like that. Or, you know, she has tattoos and, you know, she hangs out at the club. And no, you don't know. You have no idea. But let's continue.
Because all they do is regurgitate shit that they've heard. They have not done any studies, any research on their own. If they would have done research on their own, they would know that pair bonding has nothing to do with human relationships. Now, again, what people are doing, they are taking studies that have been done, right, on rodents and birds, and they are attributing some of the behaviors with those animals to those of humans, okay? Intellectually, right, and just common sense, okay, you really can't say, well, these rats or these prairie voles or these mice and these birds, because they act this way, let's link their behavior to those of humans. Okay, you can't do that. Okay, and the biggest reason why you can't do that is because every animal species other than humans, okay, they have a particular life cycle. So when they mate, it's based on certain things that don't change.
Right. So what Kzagan is saying is that you got to understand that you can't compare the animals and the rodents and all of that shit to humans because they have a different life cycle. So because they have a different life cycle, the way that they interact with each other is going to be different than how humans interact with each other. You see what I'm saying? And Rock Stedman said, okay, are you wild to think you are the person women won't lie to? I didn't say women aren't going to lie to me. I'm saying women most often don't lie to me because I'm real with them from the jump. See, women, let me explain to you guys something. Do you realize that women don't want to have to lie? I'm going to say that again. Women don't want to have to lie. Lies, whether man or woman is doing it, is based in fear. This is why a lot of you guys will lie to women. Because you're like, well, I feel like I got to lie to this girl to get some pussy, because you think whoever you are really and the truth of who you are isn't enough to get pussy. So therefore you lie. And this is why women lie, because they feel like, well, if I tell this guy the truth, he's going to judge me. He might not take me seriously. So of course she's going to lie. But if she's dealing with a guy who doesn't put sex on a pedestal, who doesn't judge them, of course they're going to tell. Like, for example, there was a girl that I used to hook up with a long time ago. She's actually in a relationship right now, which is surprising, right? Her body count at the time when I was fucking with her was like, she told me I was number 174, 175, some shit like that, right? So she basically told me she fucked 170 something guys before me. You understand what I'm saying? The only reason she told me that was because of who the fuck I was. She understood that I don't give a shit. You understand what I'm saying? She understood that I'm not judgmental. We would talk about sex and talk about different things and all this other stuff, right? She has a boyfriend now that she's been with for, I think, almost like a year or two at this point. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we still cool. I follow on Instagram. She's cool and everything. She's with her boyfriend. They're all in love and all that other goofy shit. Right? So this chick had sex with, and imagine, she probably had sex with more guys after me before she met her boyfriend. Or whatever it was. You see what I'm saying? But how is she bonding with this nigga? But let's continue. Let's continue. Because we got a lot to go through. Hold on, let's go.
Animals don't deviate from their life cycle. In other words, they mate at specific times. They mature at specific times. Okay, they don't deviate from their life cycle. We're humans. Okay, we deviate like a motherfucker. There is no certain time when we mature. There is no certain time when we choose to mate, because we're the most intelligent species on the planet. We pick and choose what we want to do. Animals do not pick and choose what they want to do. Right? It's almost like things are predetermined to be a certain way. Okay. The only thing that disrupts an animal's life cycle, or the things that an animal does within their life cycle, is when they die.
Goddamn commercials. Hold on.
So, you want to get hired before summer ends? The hottest tech companies are desperate to hire.
We got like 10 more minutes for this.
Eaten by other predators or some shit like that, or they've been ran over, you know what I'm saying, some roadkill or something. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, they go by the numbers. We don't. So just common sense and intelligence will tell you, you cannot take lab results from rodents and attribute that shit to human beings. That's why it says it is sometimes used in reference. You can use it in reference, but again, it's more of a theory than a fact. It's not a fact. It's just theory.
Yeah. Exactly. And see, that's what we talk about. That's why we have the show Real Game, No Theory. Because a lot of this shit that motherfuckers is talking about is theory. Theory. But let's continue.
This is the problem with guys, right? You have guys that say, oh, well, if a woman had a promiscuous past, she can't pair bond. Or if a woman is a single mother, because of her connection to the father or fathers of her children, she can't pair bond. This is the problem with guys who are not very intelligent. Pair bonding has nothing to do with females, okay? It's the male and female counterpart within whatever species. It's both people. Both people. Okay. Now let's utilize common sense for a moment. Okay. If guys are saying that women can't pair bond because of their promiscuous past, or because of their high body count, or because maybe they have some connection. I've actually heard guys say women who've had, a baby or baby by other men, that they have soul ties. Now, I did a video breaking that shit down too. They have soul ties to these men.
See, soul ties, that's a whole nother crock of bullshit. All that soul ties, twin flames, soulmate nonsense, but that's a whole nother thing.
They can't pair bond with other men, because they've already had kids by other men. All that is theory. There is no proof of that at all. Now, let's think about this. For all these guys that want to say single mothers cannot pair bond, let's think about the fact that they're single mothers and they're left to raise their offspring by themselves. They're raising them. Where the daddy's at? So who's really having trouble pair bonding?
Oh, damn. K-Zaggin hit him with the crazy. He said these single moms are left to take care of the kids by themselves. So where the dads at? So if we're talking about pair bonding, who can't really pair bond? You know what I'm saying? Who's having a hard time pair bonding? Niggas is out here fucking doing their thing, and then when it comes time to fuck with a chick on some relationship shit, they're like, nah, I can't fuck with you because you fucked 7 guys. So if you can't fuck with her because she fucked 7 niggas, then who can't pair bond? You understand? I mean, I'm just saying. But let's continue real quick.
Shit, men, if you ask me. Again, what is pair bonding? In biology, a pair bond is the strong affinity that develops in some species between a mating pair. Y'all know what mating means? That means 2 people having children together. You know, if you're talking about humans, okay? A mating pair often leading to the production and rearing of offspring and potentially a lifelong bond. So if you have guys out here impregnating women that they're not married to, and they're leaving these women on their own to raise their sons or daughters, who's really having trouble pair bonding?
I gotta hit it again. But let's go.
Man, the guys want to act like that pair bonding is unique to just women. It's not. It's not unique to just women. So for all you goofy motherfuckers, okay, shut the fuck up already. Because I'm setting the record straight today. And if people continue to say the stupid shit they say about pair bonding, I'm checking all you goofy niggas. You know what I'm saying? Period. Now, again, I did a video talking about the difference between social monogamy versus sexual monogamy. Now, let me say this. Humans can experience some or all of the above mentioned varieties of pair bonds in their lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
These bonds can be, here's a word, temporary or last a lifetime. Let me say that one more time. These bonds can be temporary or last a lifetime. That sounds like relationships. Yeah, you have a girlfriend, you have a temporary bond. It's temporary. Why? Because you broke the fuck up.
Exactly. So basically what K-Zagan is saying is that you have these bonds that could be temporary or last a lifetime. So meaning that y'all gonna get together, and then if it's short term, it's short term. And then if y'all break up, cool, you go get with somebody else. Y'all might have it a long term where it could last your whole life. Or you break up and get with somebody else. That's regular relationships. But see, a lot of these guys out here, because they don't have a lot of experience dealing with women, and this is usually these type of guys who don't have a lot of experience dealing with women, right? They're so caught up on the whole pair bonding thought process because they need, or they feel they need, a woman to just bond with them and be with them forever because they have a scarcity mindset when it comes to dealing with women in general, when it comes to relationships. You understand what I'm saying? That's what it is. But let's continue. We got like probably 2 more minutes on this video.
Okay. And then you move on to another chick. And then you create another temporary bond. And then you break the fuck up. So when they talk about these bonds could be temporary or last a lifetime, a lifetime, that sounds like a marriage between 2 individuals where they're actually married until one of them dies off. Come on, man. Now, let me say this. In a biological sense, there are 2 main types of pair bonds exhibited in humans: social pair bonding and sexual pair bonding. The social pair bond is a strong behavioral and psychological relationship between 2 individuals that is measurably different and, physiological and emotional terms from general friendship or other acquaintance relationships. What does that mean? What does that mean? That means that you and that person have a relationship that's more profound. Okay, there's more of an emotional connection and a bond. Okay, so if you think about girlfriend, boyfriend, okay, they're comparing girlfriend, boyfriend relationships to that of maybe your best friend. Okay, that's what's that saying right there. Okay, let's think about this. Then it says here, on the other hand, the sexual parabond is a behavioral and physiological bond between two individuals with a strong sexual attraction component. Okay, I ain't done yet. In this bond, the participants in the sexual pair bond prefer to have sex with each other over other options. Do y'all know what that just said right there? Okay, strong sexual attraction component. So for all you guys that say that women can't pair bond, do you know what that means? That means they're not sexually attracted to you.
Well, K Zaggin is going in. He said, listen, all you're saying is that these women ain't sexually attracted to you. You understand what I'm saying? They're not sexually attracted to you. They don't want to fuck with you. They're not really trying to be with you. They're not trying to really make something happen with you. It's okay. You understand? It's okay. See, guys, a lot of y'all got to understand what's really going on out here in these streets, right? Now, what I want to do on this half, because I want to show, I got two more videos to show. One is a really quick video, and the other one is about maybe 15 minutes, right? But it goes into this whole idea or concept that guys have when they talk about, women and sex, and they have this thought process that says, well, if a woman has sex with all these guys, then she's going to retain the DNA from all the guys she had sex with, which is bullshit. Straight bullshit. Straight bullshit. Right? And then so what guys are saying that there's a thing called microchimerism, and they're saying, well, that's the male DNA that gets stuck into the woman. Right? Now, I'm going to show you a video that explains microchimerism. So this video is about 3 minutes, and I'll stop it in the halfway when they actually explain it. Right? And see, Mazal Tawab, he says, men don't treat sex as emotional experience like women do. Bruh. Why do y'all guys, I know why, but why do y'all guys keep see, this is why you guys got to understand game, because when you understand game, shit like this is going to seem laughable to you. Laughable. Because he said, men don't treat sex as emotional experience like women do. Do you know that women can have sex with you without any fucking emotional connection? You understand? Matter of fact, a chick could fuck you, right? Have a one-night stand with you. And there's sometimes guys will be calling her up and trying to see what's popping, and they get all mad that the girl don't want to see them again. You understand? So the thing is, you guys have to start actually living life, and then you'll see certain things in reality that's going to make you see what's really going down out here in these streets, right? But let me go to this other video real quick. Let's go to this other video real quick. Where is this other video? So this one is called, what is microchimerism? Right? Let's because remember, guys thought that microchimerism, or they were saying the male DNA was from fucking the girls and the sperm and all that other shit, right? But let's talk about, let's see what they're saying about this whole microchimerism shit. You feel what I'm saying? Let's do this real quick. Let me pull this up real quick. I told you today's gonna be this is like a lesson. This is like some school shit. So this is for smart people to pay attention to. And if you notice, this is why a lot of people get fooled on YouTube, because nobody wants to do any type of research, look up shit, question shit. They don't want to do shit, but just regurgitate the shit the last motherfucker said. And then you start living your life based off of some shit some other motherfucker said. You understand? But let's continue. Let's start this one right here real quick.
Hi, I'm Randy Nessie from the Arizona State University Center for Evolution Medicine, and my guest today is Lee Nelson from University of Washington.
I thought it was a commercial.
She has actually been a practicing physician, a professor of medicine, and she also has a laboratory at the Hutchinson Research Institute. Welcome. She's here today to give a talk about microchimerism, which turns out to have all kinds of interesting ramifications. What is it? What is microchimerism?
So microchimerism is, the word derives from the chimera, which was a mythological creature that was part lion and part goat and part serpent. Micro just means small, and so it's a small amount of cells or DNA that came from a genetically disparate individual. So that's what the term means in medicine.
So a baby's cells that continue to circulate in the mother after birth.
Yes, or cells of origin in the baby, because those cells probably age. So if it's 10 years later.
Wait, 10 years later? The cells can still be in the mother 10 years later?
They can, 10, 20, 30,
really?
Probably indefinitely, yes.
All right, so now, let me stop it right there. That's all I wanted to show you for that video. Now, they said that microchimerism is based off of the women retaining DNA from pregnancy, not the nigga sperm, pregnancy, motherfuckers. You see what I'm saying? So all these guys that are going around the YouTubes and saying, oh, well, you know, women, they retain all the DNA from the guys that they're fucking, right? That's bullshit. Oh, the male microchimerism is the thing. That's from the pregnancies. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up another video. Now, this video, the guy's going to go in on this, and I'm gonna sort of stop it in between, because I don't want to get you guys too confused, but I want you guys to notice and see what he's talking about, because he breaks this down and he talks about all the bullshit that these guys on the internet were spreading around because they're idiots. You understand what I'm saying? And hold on, let me pull this up real quick. Where is this? Okay, here we go. Let's do this video. Share this video. All right, so the title of this video is, where does all the foreign male DNA in women's bodies actually come from? Right? So let's get into this. All right, so this is the last video I'm gonna show, and then we will take some calls after this right here. All right, let me set this up real good. And here we go.
If you've spent virtually any time on the interwebs, and particularly lurked in the social media areas of this marvel of human ingenuity, you'll no doubt at one point or another have come across the fact that many women have living male cells hanging out in their bodies, including in their brains. The most common explanation, according to social media, for how these instances of microchimerism came to be is that women acquire these cells via making the beast with two backs with a man. The claim that often follows this.
My bad, y'all saying y'all hearing the echo from the video? Let me know if y'all hearing the echo. Maybe I gotta mute my my mic. Y'all hearing the echo? Let me know in the chat, because Eri is saying that he hearing the echo. Let me know if y'all hearing the echo real quick. Put it in the chat. Let me know. You hearing the echo? Okay, cool. So I'm gonna try to mute myself while I'm playing the video, and then let me see if that works. Hold on. You play the video and then mute myself.
This is that given these cells and their replicates have been shown to sometimes hang around for decades in the woman, that most women have the DNA of every male sexual partner they've ever had in their bodies. But is any of this actually true? As with the vast majority of quick facts spread around on social media, there are elements of truth to it, but the part that makes the fact spread does not appear to.
Let me know. Is that better? Is that better? Echo went away. All right, cool. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna mute myself while I'm playing the video. All right, cool. So let's continue. All right.
To be true at all based on the current state of scientific research. Unlike the effect of having unprotected social media, which will always leave residual undesired things in your brain, having sex with a guy doesn't seem to be a contributor, or at least not a major contributor, to male cell lines finding their way into women's bodies and brains. So how do these cells get there, and where did the rumor that women retain the DNA of every man they've ever slept with start? To begin with, back in 2012, a study titled Male Microchimerism noted that after dissecting a number of deceased women's brains, 63% of the brains, 37 out of 59, had male microchimerism present. While it was touted by many a media source that this was a huge discovery, in fact, it has long been known that a large percentage of women eventually carry living male cell lines in their bodies. For example, a study in 1969 published in The Lancet showed that 70%, 21 out of 30 pregnant women, 19 of whom were pregnant with boys and 2 others having previously had boys, were found to have male microchimerism. From there, countless other studies have shown the same thing, including some animal studies that showed some of these cell lines are able to cross the blood-brain barrier in mice. What made this particular 2000...
Hold on. So basically what he's saying is, and this is what they were saying in the other video, is that the cells are coming from the pregnancies, the DNA from the kids, you understand what I'm saying, that get into the women. You feel what I'm saying? But he's gonna go a little bit deeper. Let's continue.
2012 study so interesting was simply that it was the first to show that these cell lines could cross the blood-brain barrier in humans as well. It's also interesting to note from this study that 33 of the women had Alzheimer's, and that these women had lower likelihood of having male microchimerism present. And even those who had Alzheimer's and male microchimerism, they tended to have lower concentrations of these cells. More on this and the potential benefits and drawbacks of microchimerism in the bonus facts section, which we'll get into in a bit. In any event, noteworthy here is that despite explicitly stating the likely sources of these cell lines, mostly centered around pregnancy, at no point in the study did the researchers state that these came from former sexual partners. And as...
There. See, he just said that at no point in the study did they say that these cells came from male sexual partners. So where are these guys getting all of this shit about, oh, the women retain the DNA of all the guys she slept with? Where are they getting that from? You understand what I'm saying? Where are they getting this shit from? You see what I mean? So let's continue. Let's continue.
As for the pregnancy source, the researchers speculated this may be how the cell lines are getting past the blood-brain barrier in the first place. They state changes in BBB permeability occur during pregnancy and may therefore provide a unique opportunity for the establishment of microchimerism in the brain. So, how did this study become the source of the myth that women retain the DNA of every sexual partner that they've ever had? Enter Baxter Dimitri, a man who has the personal tagline, speaking truth to power since he learned to talk, and noting that he's traveled in over 80 countries and won arguments in every single one. Naturally, a person who speaks such truth would write on a website, Your Newswire, that itself had the tagline, News, Truth, Unfiltered. With all that advocating for truth, it should come as no surprise that in June of 2017, Baxter published a completely unbiased and truthful piece on Your Newswire titled Women Absorb and Retain DNA from Every Man They Have Sex With, using a study that literally said none of this as his primary source for that.
Right there. Let me start right there. So he basically saying that some guy who's not a scientist, you understand what I'm saying, who's not really doing any studies, made some blog post or some shit on some website, you understand what I'm saying, wrote an article talking about women retain the DNA of every guy she slept with and all that other stuff. Just some nigga, some random nigga just came up and just wrote this shit. You understand? And then everybody just runs with it, right? But let's continue. Let's continue.
belief. As for how he got around this little problem of the researchers not even hypothesizing about this, using his masterful debating skills famed in 80 countries the world over, Baxter states of the researchers' actual suggested sources of this male DNA. Researchers assumed that the most likely answer was that all male DNA found living in the female brain came from a male pregnancy. That was the safe, politically correct assumption. But these researchers were living in denial. The scientists didn't know what the hell was going on. Confused, they did their best to hide the evidence.
What he's saying right here is this guy Baxter, these are his words. He's basically saying that these scientists, they're trying to hide this evidence of the male sperm DNA because like a bunch of bullshit. But let's continue. This is what he's saying, this guy's saying. But let's continue.
Until they could understand and explain it. They buried it in numerous sub-studies and articles. But if you sift through them all, you will find the damning statement, the one line that gives the game away. This one line that gives the game away is a 2005 study, Male Microchimerism in Women Without Sons. In this study, they found that 21% of the 120 women they looked at had male microchimerism. Of these women, 26 of them had daughters, 23 had spontaneous abortions, 23 of them had induced abortions, and 48 of them had never been pregnant that the women were aware of. The results were the first group, who only had daughters, had an 80% rate of male microchimerism. The second group with spontaneous abortions had a rate of 22%. The third group with induced abortions had a rate of 57%. And the final group, who'd never been pregnant, were at just 10%. It was similar to the group who'd only had daughters. So how does this support Baxter's claim? In his study, along with mentioning the more likely origins of this microchimerism, they also hypothesize that it may be possible some of these cases could be from having sexual partners of the male persuasion. They offer no supporting evidence of this, simply speculating for potential further research. From that one, then unstudied hypothesis presented in the paper as the least likely possibility and completely dismissing the many, many other studies on the subject, Baxter naturally gave the unfiltered truth that this proved women retain the DNA from not just some, but every single man they've ever had sex with. He also, for some reason, stated that the researchers of the 2012 study were trying to hide this fact from the world. We guess for, well, reasons. He also made another, lesser talked about, we'll say, interesting claim that we'll get to shortly. But before that, as for the main claim.
Again, what he's saying is that the guy who made the study, not the study, but the guy who's been circulating or started circulating the whole thing of women retain the DNA of every guy that they sleep with, right? He's saying that spread around, right? And it went contrary to what the actual scientists were talking about, basically. Because like I showed you in the other video, they were saying that the microchimerism is based off of the pregnancies and the DNA going into the male DNA getting into the woman's brain through those pregnancies, right? And even in the first video, the lady said it could be from past decades and stuff. And then also what they're saying is that some of these women who basically didn't have sons, right? And I think he talks about this later in the video, and I've seen this in other studies, is that sometimes what will happen is that even if a woman had that male DNA in her, right, that could have come from her mother having had a son before the daughter, or having had an abortion with a son. So then the DNA transfers to that other woman who's never actually had, a son. That's how she got the male DNA on her. You understand what I'm saying? But they're saying that there's actually no studies that are showing that it's from the sperm of a guy fucking her. You understand what I'm saying? But let's continue.
Given this information as a grain of truth, is claimed to be backed by a scientific study, which few are going to bother to read, is mildly plausible on the surface, or at least not readily debunkable by the layman without looking into it a little, and is incredibly eye-catching in headline form, it naturally spread throughout the various social media outlets whose algorithms and platforms cater to content with no depth or nuance, like Facebook or Twitter. Now, you'd think that's where it would end, given this particular little fact, using the 2012 study as its supposed source takes only about 10 minutes to call its accuracy into question via even just skimming the cited study. But it turns out a large percentage of popular general news sites don't actually bother to have their authors read the studies they're reporting on, with this little rumor functioning as a great test to see which outlets do and which outlets do not. And so it was that many of the most popular general news outlets reported that the researchers in the study claimed the source of DNA in women's brains was from sexual partners. Some of the worst offenders even doubled down and went with the full supposed fact that the study showed women retained the DNA of many or all of their previous sexual partners. This finally brings us to where the DNA is actually coming from. As briefly alluded to, pregnancy seems to be the number one source, though it turns out it doesn't necessarily need to be the pregnancy of the woman in question. Because these cell lines from the fetus can survive for decades after the pregnancy, subsequent pregnancies a given woman has can then see some of these cell lines find their way into the new little, demonstrating this cellular.
What he's saying is that because the DNA is there for decades, the male DNA can also transfer to that woman's daughter. You understand what I'm saying? So even if that daughter, when she grows up and they tested her and they see and all that other stuff, even though she didn't have a pregnancy, the daughter didn't have a pregnancy, she still can retain that DNA. You understand what I'm saying? But let's continue.
Exchange directly after pregnancy, approximately 2/3 of women will carry fetal immune cell lines, for example. On the flip side, about 1/3 of the time, the baby will have the maternal immune cells after they are born. Illustrating all this, we have such research as a 2015 study, Microchimerism of Male Origin, in a cohort of Danish girls looking at 154 girls 10 to 15 years old. Unfortunately, for adding a more definitive data point to the question at hand, the researcher did not ask the girls if they'd had sex before, though given their age, it can be presumed that the majority had not. Delving into this, the researchers note that in a separate study, it was shown that approximately 16% of 14-year-old girls in Denmark have had sex, and a total of 36% have done so by the age of 15. Importantly, however, 80% of these 14 to 15-year-old girls who had sex reported their partner used a condom, which limits the possibility of such cell transfer. In any event, the results of this study on 10 to 15-year-old girls showed that 13.6% of the girls tested positive for male microchimerism, which is more or less in line with the previously mentioned study of adult women who'd either only had daughters or never been pregnant.
What he's saying, basically what he's saying is this. He's saying that what happened is that they did these studies, right, on these Danish girls who supposedly were having sex, and he was saying that they used condoms, but then when they did the study of the male DNA, it was still the same, basically the same amount of DNA on them, male DNA on them, as the previous study of the women who had male babies, and then they had a daughter who also didn't have any male sons. So basically what they're saying is this, is that in each of these studies, you have women, right, who have male DNA on them, you understand? But the male DNA was not coming from sperm and sex. But K-Zagging, what's popping, my brother?
Doing good, man.
What's going on?
I had to take a little sabbatical from YouTube and just take a vacation from the real world and enjoy myself, man. Just, go live life. Unlike a lot of these pair-bonded niggas, actually go live life.
Exactly. So what's your thoughts on all of this about? What's your thoughts on like dudes thinking they can't have a long-term relationship because a girl has a high body count, or dudes thinking like women, they're gonna retain all the DNA from the sperm and all that other crazy shit?
Well, number one, I don't know if you mentioned it yet because I wasn't listening to the last part, but I do know the microchimerism, whatever that shit is called. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I do know that what they were talking about was a lot of time when women have male DNA, it's from a previous pregnancy.
Right.
Okay, that's what it's from. It's from that's from a previous pregnancy. I mean, bro, a lot of this shit is just like common sense, but what it is, dudes is looking for anything to try and say, aha, I can't get in a relationship with her because she got this going on and that going on. Right. So, they want to limit the hurt feelings. They want to limit being cheated on. Like all these uncomfortable things that happen in relationships, men, they are so proactive in trying to not have these things happen that they look for all these things. to label women and be like, well, if she has this going on, she's not a good candidate for a wife. But one thing, Locario, that they never talk about how women treat them. They never talk about dealing with women who are respectful, who are cooperative, the ride or die type of chicks. They never talk about the treatment of how women actually treat them. They just talk about all this extra shit that they have no control over. Okay. And just as a man, we have no control over none of this shit. Okay. All we can control is what we do. And when we do invite women into our life, for whatever capacity we choose to invite them in for, we have control over whether or not that woman will stay there if she don't act right.
Exactly.
Okay, that's it. But even with the sex shit, there was this article where this guy got a DNA test from for his son, and he found out that his grandfather fathered his son, and his son is like a year, 2 years old. So his woman cheated on him with his grandpops and shit.
Wow.
So to me, so let's say for the sake of argument, the only sex she ever had in her life was with the dude and the grandpops. So only two dudes. Is she a good wife now? Is she a good wife material now?
Right. Exactly right.
She had sex with two dudes. So to me, it's not the amount of sex, it's the type of sex. It's kind of like women who have had traumatic sexual experiences, molestation, rape, that type of shit. They might have trouble bonding with men because they don't trust men.
Exactly.
Okay? But what if a chick was a virgin and she was raped? Okay, and because she can't bond with you, can be like, man, that bitch slept with a lot of dudes. No, she got raped by one dude, and she just fucked up in the head because of it. She ain't processed it and got over that. So you can't just look at necessarily the amount of sex, because if a woman is willfully having sex with a bunch of men, that's something that she wants to do.
Right.
Okay. So she's not going to have some traumatic experience if she's doing something she wants to do versus a woman who's forced into like sex trade. I know I'm kind of getting off the topic and shit. But
I agree with you, because the problem is that dudes, they think sex is the end all be all of character. You understand? Or it just equates to character. You understand? Because people forget it's like this. A healthy person who's healthy in mind and body and in their energy, right? And they like to have sex. You have people out here who have sex, they have a healthy sex life, they protect themselves, they get tested, they're responsible, and they enjoy their life. They go to work, they go to school, they take care of their responsibilities, but they just like to have sex. Those people, right? And man or woman, but let's say we're talking about women because guys always got this thing about women and it's like this crazy shit. You could have a woman who has a healthy sex life, who's had sex with a lot of different guys, who has a good head on her shoulders and who knows how to treat a guy. You understand? Because all of her experiences in general are positive. You understand? Because all those dudes she hooked up with, had sex with, dated or whatever, they could have been cool dudes that treated her good. She has a healthy outlook on men. You understand what I'm saying? And versus you could have a woman who had sex with one or two guys, and like you said, had some traumatic experience with one of those dudes. Actually, I have somebody in my family who's like that. I'm not gonna mention her name, but she's had a crazy traumatic experience in her life when she was younger, and she's only had sex, to my knowledge, of maybe I think one or two guys in her whole life. You understand what I'm saying? But she's always had issues connecting and bonding with men in relationships. You understand what I'm saying? Because of that shit that happened. You see what I'm saying? So it's not just the sexual thing. It's the whole, it's a whole entire thing a lot of times when it comes to interacting with the opposite sex in any facet of the situation. You see what I'm saying?
Well, what if a woman, this is what guys don't think about. What if a woman, her last 3 boyfriends were batterers? They physically abused her and beat her. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know, she so any man she deal with after that, she's gonna have a lack of trust of men. She's not gonna want men to get too close to her because she's gonna want to protect herself. See, guys, this is what it really is, and you already know this. What it really boils down to is the sexual insecurity of men. That's what it boils down to. The reason why niggas talk about all this shit is because they're worried about being cheated on. Okay?
Right. Exactly.
If you strip away all the bullshit, they're worried about being cheated on, and not only that, they're worried about, because this is what a lot of guys think. The more lovers she's had, the chances of me being able to please her sexually decreases, because there's a good chance she's had guys that were much better in bed than me, guys that had a bigger dick than me. But if a woman only had a little bit of guys she fucked, then there's a good chance I could be the best she's ever had.
Right.
If I'm the best she's ever had, will decrease the likelihood that she'll cheat. So that's what it all boils down to.
That's facts. That's facts. So I want to finish some more of this video because there's something that he says in this video that I really want to touch on. It's coming up in a second, but let's continue this real quick.
With rates of about 8 and 10% respectively. This also almost exactly lined up with another study on prepubescent girls, with about 14% testing positive for male microchimerism in that study. As other studies have also shown, the 2015 study researchers also noted that girls who had older brothers were more likely to test positive for male microchimerism. With more older brothers, the more likely to test positive. They also found girls whose mothers had blood transfusions during pregnancy were more likely to test positive as well. Given this data set, however, the researchers do note that they could not account for all the instances of male microchimerism based on the known data, and thus further research is needed to figure out where all these cell lines are coming from more definitively. To date, it isn't actually fully clear what is happening here for these unaccounted for cases. The leading hypothesis is that these are probably coming from things like cases of a vanished and unobserved male twin, or more likely in most cases, a woman, including the mothers of these girls, having been previously pregnant with a boy and they simply didn't know it. It turns out, depending on what study you want to go with, between 1/3 and just under 1/2 of all human pregnancies result in a miscarriage, with a decent percentage of these happening without.
I want to say this. I want you guys to understand that what he's talking about within this whole thing are the studies that have been done. You understand what I'm saying? Versus the whole thing of every woman retains the DNA from every guy. There's no study for that. You understand what I'm saying? That's just some shit some guy wrote and everybody ran with that shit. You see what I mean? So that's what you guys got to understand about that type of stuff. But he gonna get into it in a second, because this is one of the things I really want you guys to pay attention to real quick.
The woman actually knowing she was briefly pregnant. Further, a large percentage of the rest of these miscarriages happen before the sex of the baby is known. That said, given researchers have not yet definitively been able to account for all these sources of male microchimerism, it's always possible it could be from a sexual partner, and more research is needed to figure this out definitively. But at present, this is deemed unlikely. But why? Well, it turns out it's a massive conspiracy backed by the lizard people. Or for those of you who want to continue to allow our lizard overlords to pull the wool over our eyes when talking the every partner narrative, this can conclusively be shown to be false with the known data given that if that was true, virtually every heterosexual woman should test positive for male microchimerism. This is not the case. But even when just looking at unprotected sexual partners, where there is indeed some brief surface-level cellular exchange happening for both partners, most researchers still find this an unlikely source, as the vagina is an incredibly inhospitable place to try and establish a cell line in the first place, including being relatively rapidly self-cleaning and good at getting rid of such offending cells. And even if some cells still manage to find their way into the bloodstream via, say, cuts in the vagina or things like that, these would, in the vast majority of cases, be identified and eliminated by the woman's immune system. Fetal cells, on the other hand, can potentially have ways around this problem. As summed up by Dr. J. Lee Nelson, co-author of the aforementioned 2012 study that is the commonly cited source of this myth, any suggestion that male DNA is routinely retained from sexual partners has no support from any scientific study. The biggest statement is the data. If this were routinely happening, you would see it in the vast majority of adult women without sons that we studied.
For a second. Let me stop that for a second. They literally just said, bro, he just said, listen, the vagina is self-cleaning. You understand? It's saying any suggestions that male DNA is routinely retained from sexual partners has no support from any scientific study. Okay, I want you guys to forward this video to all of your red pill people, all of your people saying all of this bullshit. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is what it's crazy. It's crazy. I like this is what I'm saying when I ask these dudes, well, send me a fucking study. Send me the scientific research. I always get a blog from some guy that's just talking shit. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, my bad.
Right.
No, this guy, Mazel Tawab. See, bro, that's y'all. A lot of you guys are sexually insecure men. Okay, now you're gonna say you're not, but you are. Okay, a woman could be exclusive to you. Okay, because she's with you. So any guy that she was with before you, he's gone. You're the new guy in the picture. So if you're in a relationship with her and y'all agree to be in a monogamous relationship, nigga, that is exclusive.
Right? Like, what did he expect? He expected all women on Earth to just remain virgins and wait for him to come around to pick one to be with.
Bro, this is sad to me. Look, check this out. Check this out. If you are a virgin, like if you for any guy out there, if you're a virgin yourself and you're a virgin for religious reasons, right? And you want to actually get married and lose your virginity to your wife, or let me not say lose virginity, that sounds weird coming from a man, but you want to have sex for the first time with your wife on your wedding night and you want her to be a virgin too, I completely understand that. But if you're not a virgin and you have participated, especially in casual sex, but yet you want a woman who hasn't, man, that's some stupid shit to me. That don't make no sense. And I don't understand. For me, any woman that's single right now, for all you women out there single right now, you ain't got no man, get all the dick you want. There's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong at all. Because we as men, we're doing that when we single. You got men who follow dating coach channels where we talk about casual sex.
Right.
That's what we talk about.
Right. Exactly. So how are we having casual sex, but then want the women to not be having sex? Like, where they do that at? You understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, it's such a contradiction. It's a bunch of bullshit all over the place, and dudes don't even see it. Like, they don't even see it. And then they trying to find these articles and stuff that have no scientific backing nowhere to, and this is the part that I said that sucks, is that dudes are taking this type of information, this misinformation, I should say, and they're living their lives based off of this. Do you guys not understand how crazy this is? When you're living your life based off of misinformation. That's fucking insane. You know what I mean? But let's continue, because he gonna talk about more of the goofy shit real quick. Hold on.
We should probably also address very briefly that some have very bizarrely gone further and claimed that it's the sperm themselves that manage to survive and live on in the women. But of course, sperm don't replicate themselves and only last at most a week or so. So, well, just no. As to how that rumor got started, well, that was in Baxter's original piece that started the main rumor in the first place. To quote the legendary debater, "Sperm is alive. It is living cells. When it is injected into you, it swims and swims until it crashes headlong into a wall, and then it attaches and burrows into your flesh. If it's in your mouth, it swims and climbs into your nasal passages, inner ear, and behind your eyes. Then it digs in, it enters your bloodstream and collects in your brain and spine. Like something out of a sci-fi movie, it becomes a part of you, and you can't get rid of it." What?
He's clowning on niggas, bro. He's clowning.
That's what I'm saying. And I can stop it right there. I'm gonna stop the video right there.
He's laughing at the ass.
Listen. He's talking about the words from the articles y'all niggas be sending me. Talking about, well, you know, the sperm is gonna go into your eye sockets, and then it's gonna burrow into your bloodstream, and then it's gonna get into your DNA, and it's gonna live forever. Sperm dies in a few days, you know. Like, guys, you understand this? If you ejaculate in a woman, the sperm is going to die. You understand? It's not going to live in her forever. Like, this is what we're trying to tell you guys. See, y'all guys have to be careful about what you listen to, right? Because what you're listening to is shaping how you interact with the world. You understand? Now, again, don't take our word for it. Do your own research too. What we're trying to tell you is we're trying to come with the counter situation, because you got so many guys out there who are listening to a lot of this stuff that's not even true. You understand what I'm saying? They're like, oh, well, the male DNA from women retain the DNA of every guy they're fucking with. You understand what I'm saying? And then that's gonna be in her forever, and then she's gonna end up having a baby with you, and then it's gonna be like from the other nigga's sperm she had sex with 3 years ago. Like,
see, this dude, Mazal Twop, the DNA still there. Bro, no matter what they see, these dudes refuse to part with their theory. They're like, no, I'm keeping my theory. You can't take it from me, it's mine.
Right. But this is what happens, guys. This is the type of shit that happens when you don't do research. But go ahead.
No, what's so funny is I did a video about something similar the guy was talking about, right? And it was a woman. She was a biologist, and all the guys were disagreeing with me because they said, "But it was a woman. Of course, she would write that, right?" But here's a guy saying the same thing that the woman says.
Exactly.
And guys are still refuting it. Like, nah, fuck it. And then, you know what they're gonna say? He must be a feminist. That's what they're gonna call it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And it's like, bro, it's funny because dudes want to hang on so much to their fucking. And this is the thing, because myself, guys like me, guys like you, right? We actually are living real life, doing the things that we say we're doing, and actually experiencing women for real. You understand?
Yes. Most having sex with real women.
Exactly. Most of these guys who are on YouTube or who watch the YouTube, they haven't experienced it. Some of these guys have never actually been in a long-term relationship before. Some of these guys have never had a girlfriend. And so what it is that they're just regurgitating what they heard from this guy or that guy or this red pill guy or that guy over here. And usually those guys are coming up with these things to sort of adhere to their own issues that they have dealing with women. That's all it is. It's like, that's must have what happened with the girl I was with that I was in love with who broke my heart. It's because she had too many dicks in her, so she wasn't able to pair bond, and then pretty soon she's gonna hit the wall, and I'm gonna get my revenge because everything's gonna go like, come on, bruh.
And that's what it is. A lot of these guys, they've had some type of negative experience with women. Like we all have. Every guy has had that.
Right.
So if you're actually dealing with women, you've had at least one negative experience in your life. But what it is, and it's like what you were saying, something bad happened with some women, and then they came to some of these goofy channels, and they be like, "That's it. That's why she did me dirty. It's because of that." And they never take ownership of the fact, no, you were just a lame dude. You were just a lame dude. The woman didn't respect you. You didn't know how to lead her. You know what I'm saying? And then what happens is, from one woman to the next, they experience the same shit because the common denominator is them. They're the same goofy dude that's dealing with all these different women, experiencing the same type of outcome because these dudes ain't got no game, right? A lot of these dudes ain't got no backbone. A lot of these guys pedestalize pussy and women. A lot of these guys, man. And what it is, a lot of these guys, because one guy said, I'm experienced women all day. No, you're not. No, look, let me tell y'all something. Guys who really get it in with women, there's a certain way you think.
Thank you. This is exactly what I was saying in the other video. I said, bro, if you're the type of guy who's really getting it in and getting sex from women, it's almost like you would have to be like the hugest idiot to even think that. It's like, for example, right? I'll give you a perfect example. When a person's poor, right? They're going to look at a rich person who's a businessman and be like, yo, why would they spend so much money on this car or this private jet? Or why would they spend so much money doing this and doing that? Right? But what happens is that when you run a business, right, there's things called tax write-offs. You understand what I'm saying? So if you have something in your business that you're using and you're paying for that situation because it goes with your business, you can write that off on taxes. But because you're not rich like these people or a business owner, you are not going to understand that. So therefore, your perspective is going to be different. But to another business owner, they're going to see that person buying that private jet and be like, oh, I get it. I understand why he's buying that private jet. They're not going to say, oh, man, he's wasting money and he's acting it. The reason why they're not going to say that is because they are they're on that same level. They're on that same plane. They understand certain things that you may not understand. You understand? And so the thing is that if you are the type of guy who's dealing with women on a consistent basis, or women like to fuck with you and you getting shit popping with women and you're able to attract women to have casual sex with you consistently, right? You're not going to be the type of guy to be like, man, you know, these women in the high body counts, because you're going to be the one that's participating in the high body counts. You understand what I'm saying? You're the one that's doing it. You're experiencing this. You will see the other side of women that these other guys don't.
And that's it. You said the other side of women. And that's another thing. A lot of these guys, they may have had, you know, just a girlfriend here or there.
Right.
But they've never had a whole bunch of casual sex. They never had a whole bunch of one-night stands, weekend flings. They never had a threesome. They never been to a sex party. They never participated in trainings and games, or been a side dude, or had side chicks. Okay, I ain't talking about when you cheat on your girl. I'm talking about where you have a couple of chicks around for a minute. Once you experience women in all those different capacities, you realize this shit is more common than uncommon.
Exactly.
That this shit is going on.
Right. Exactly. Because I'm like, yo, if you've been in situations where you've met people, because I remember you say you had a story where you was fucking with some chick, and then I think your boy smashed or some shit. Like it was like shit like that where guys haven't had those situations. You understand? They don't see the desire women have when it comes to sex and how sexual a woman could get. And then they also don't see how those same women are in relationships. Like there's a lot of women that I fuck with in my past who are married now in happy relationships now.
Whoa. I know some right now that I still keep in touch with here and there. They got kids, they married, they happy, but they was the world's biggest sluts when I was fucking with them.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Now they happy, and even if I try to creep back in there, they be like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm straight. I'm happy.
Exactly.
I'm happy. I don't want that shit no more, Carrie. I'm good now."
That's what I'm saying, but they don't get it. But we're gonna take a few calls real quick, and then we're gonna head up out of here because I gotta go in like 10, 15 minutes. But let's go to 516 and 310. 516 popping. Who this? 516.
This is Joshua.
What up? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Joshua, what's popping? Did you donate?
Yes.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So what's up, Joshua? What's going on, bro?
Hey, everything good, man. I like it. I like your videos and everything, man. The best.
BJ.
I was wondering, I have a situation. I have like a girl, friends with benefits. We've been going, and you know, like we be seeing each other every week or so. But recently, I hit her up, and she was like, you know, like she texted me back like, not today, not this week, but when she hits me up, I usually go, you know, to her crib or whatever. Isn't that like? I feel like you know, I'm being too. I'm not attached to her. You know, it's like once a week kind of thing. But
hold on. So it's hold on. Wait, you gotta speak up a little bit because you sound super low and laid back. Like you gotta speak up a little. I can't hear you that great. But so you're saying you're dealing with this girl? Is this your girlfriend?
No, it's like a girl that I've been dating for a while. But
how long? How long you been dating her?
Like we've been dating for like 2 months.
2 months. Okay. How many times you smashed?
I smashed like 10 times or something like that. Like maybe 10 times. Like for the whole summer, like every week or something.
Okay, so what's the issue now? What's the issue that you having?
The issue is like I feel like, you know, I don't know whether or not like I'm trying to break it down to you.
No, just say it. So you looking for the words so you won't get clowned. Just say it.
All right. So the issue now is like I'm trying to come see her, but like I don't want to come off like as like, you know, thirsty, like because I've been hitting her up like a lot, you know, like to come see her, but sometimes, you know, sometimes she with it, sometimes she not with it. So I'm trying to make sure, like, you know, I'm staying square, you know, you get me,
bro. It's probably gonna be a wrap for you right now because you in too deep. Because at this point, if you smashed it like 10 times and it's been 2 months, you understand, and she ain't really trying to get at you, then she ain't really feeling you like that, bro. Like meaning like you're not that high on her list. You feel me? Because she should be the one on the phone calling us about you right now. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Bro, if a chick is really into you, she was trying to see you multiple times in a week.
Right.
In a lot of cases. So let me ask you a question. Okay, and don't lie, tell the truth.
Yeah.
She the only girl you fucking, dog?
Yeah.
She the only girl you fucking? Don't lie, nigga.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it, nigga. See, that's our problem, man.
Right. Why you not talking to other girls, bro? Why you not talking to other chicks?
Man, it's like it's actually I do. I went on a date with a chick, man, but like, yo, she wasting my time, man.
No, I know what it is. The chick you think about it, the chick you think about is more special than that one. You can't get it off your mind.
You got lazy, bro. You got lazy. It's okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, how old are you? How old are you?
Me, I'm 26.
26. How old is she?
Let's go 24.
Man, listen, bro. She a young joint. She in her prime. She out there getting her throat. You see what I'm saying? Like
throat rearranged and shit. Getting fucking her tonsils tickled.
Exactly.
Because she doing her thing, bro.
You getting violated right now, and you up there.
Why you on the phone with us? You know, she making a home movie with like 2 other niggas and shit.
Oh yeah, she.
I don't got feelings about it. I'm just trying to hit it in, but I'm trying to keep hitting it. You get me?
You said what happened?
I said I'm just trying to keep hitting it. I don't got feelings for her like that.
I don't believe him. I don't believe him.
You always lying.
Call her.
Stop fucking lying.
That nigga lying.
Bro, call her. I've had plenty of chicks. I had plenty of chicks where I had fuck buddy situations with, and I would call them, and they would say, "Oh, I'm gonna call you back." And a week later, I ain't hear from them. But within that week, I'm fucking other girls anyway. You trying to figure out how to get her on the phone, how to get her to come back to the crib.
Right.
That's what you trying to do,
bro.
It's deeper than just sex, but you don't front.
Right, bro. So you saying you be hitting her up and then she don't respond?
No, she do respond, but like sometimes I'm saying like sometimes she be like sometimes like I be going her crib because my crib pack right now. You get me? I live with fans and everything. So sometimes I just be going her crib. So I ask her like, "Yo, is it cool if I come through?" She be like, "Yeah, come through." Some days she be like, "Nah, I can't." Like, let's say I hit her up on a Friday, she be like, "Nah, I'm busy right now. I'm hanging out with friends, this and that."
Hanging out with friends,
bro. Exactly, bro. You know which friends she hanging out with? She hanging out with those friends, bro. This is the thing. I say this, bro. You have to start talking to other women. Because right now you chasing this girl, you know that, right? Like she got you chasing her. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's never a good position to be in because eventually she's gonna stop wanting to fuck with you. You understand? She's gonna be like, this nigga's annoying. Because that's what happens when you're doing too much to try to get at the chick, right? It should be like this. The chick should be it should be equal or more on the girl's part, meaning that it should be like 50%. You getting ahead of 50%, she getting at you 50% or whatever, right? Or if somebody's doing more chasing, it should be the girl chasing you more than vice versa. You understand? And right now, you're chasing this chick, and she's gonna start to be like, "This nigga's annoying. Get him." She's gonna be like this.
Get out of here, you damn nigga!
That's what she's gonna say to you.
And I bet you, L, I bet you he ain't telling us the whole story. I bet you she already looking at him as somebody that's clingy.
Right.
I bet you, because here's what happens a lot of times for a lot of you guys. These women are dealing with multiple men. They might not be fucking them all, but they're dealing with multiple, especially if they look good, they meeting multiple men a day in a lot of cases. Okay. So they dealing with multiple men. They got dates lined up all weekend with different dudes. You know what I'm saying? Some of them they just fucking, some of them they probably going out and kicking it with. And dudes are spending their money on them. Y'all dudes, y'all single guys, y'all got to stop dealing with one woman at a time, man. Y'all got to stop. You 26? Bro, when I was 26, many moons ago, bro, I had multiple women on deck. Okay.
Right.
It was not out of the ordinary for me to have sex with 3 or 4 women in a weekend. You know what I'm saying? You having sex with one chick for 2 months and you single?
Right.
Bro, that's a sin.
Right.
But you know what it is though? It's because like I don't have my own crib. You get me?
Bro,
That get like 2 or 3.
Those times I was sleeping on a couch, on someone's couch, bro. Come on, man. That don't mean nothing.
That don't mean nothing to do with it. You can find 3, 4 more girls with their own spot. You understand what I'm saying? And then you can go to their spot. That don't mean shit.
And you're 26. Caller, let me ask you, what city do you live in?
I live in the suburbs, bro.
I mean, no, what city? What city do you live in?
I live in the suburbs of New York.
Bro, nigga,
get out of here with that shit. Nigga, you can take a fucking Greyhound bus an hour into the city, my brother. Stop. What part of New York you live in?
Yeah.
What part of New York?
New Rochelle.
New Rochelle. Come on, bro. Stop. Nigga, you can take a fucking train to Times Square, some shit. You understand what I'm saying?
And the point I was trying to make with that, L, was for all you dudes, because he's relatively young. At 26, you should be fucking with chicks at a college age. 21, 20, 22. They got their own dorm room. Bro, come on, bro. I stayed on the college campus. I stayed on the college campus getting at them young bros. Bro, come on, man. There's no excuse.
Bro, and on top of that, just you need to get your money up, my brother. You should be trying to get out the goddamn house. You feel what I'm saying? Get out the house, man. But shout out to my dude Steve the Dean in the building. What's going on? But yeah, bro. Just you could talk to more girls, hit up more chicks, interact with more girls, and with this girl, I would say this, man. Still fuck with her, you know what I'm saying? Still fuck with her, but I would say like give it a little bit of space, man. You're a little too much, you know what I'm saying? On top of this shit, man. Like fall back. Talk to some other chicks, man. You know what I mean? You'll be all right.
Call her.
All right, so don't really hit her up then.
Yeah, don't hit her for like a week, bro. Just for like a week or so, just fall back. You know what I'm saying?
In the last 5 days, how many times have you called her or texted her? In the last 5 days, how many times?
The whole week. I ain't hit her up.
You ain't hit her up. Wait, when's the last time you texted her?
Like the last time I texted her was probably like last Friday. No, not this past Friday. The Friday before last Friday.
Bro.
So wait, and then so you texted her, and then what happened with that text? What'd she say?
She was like, "Oh, she's busy," but she said Monday we could meet up, but I didn't pursue. I was expecting her to hit me up. Like she said, we could chill probably Monday, but I didn't hit her up Monday. I wanted her to meet up.
Chill. Wait. Chill. Mm-hmm. Chill. Hold on. Wait. So she used the word chill.
Well, because we usually mess, you mess around and all that. So
what the fuck is messing around? Y'all, we grown men, dog. What the fuck is messing around? Are y'all fucking? Or y'all hanging out? What the fuck y'all doing?
Huh?
When y'all chill, or y'all fucking, or y'all just kicking it? Are you giving her like feet massages and shit? What the fuck are y'all doing?
Fucking, bro.
I'm sorry. I'm used to women. I'm used to women who want to have sex with me, talking about that type of shit. I'm not used to a chick that I'm fucking and we're just fucking saying chill.
Bro, it's not, you gotta get some new girls, bro. It's been a week and almost past a week. She ain't hit you back. She ain't really thinking about nothing. So get you a new chick and keep this chick on the side. You understand? And when she hit you back, set up a time to fuck and then keep it pushing and keep doing that. That's what you got to do, bro. But yeah, get yourself some more chicks and we gonna holler at you, my brother. All right.
Yeah. Go meet 25 women a day.
Exactly.
That's what you should be doing.
This is gonna be him in a minute.
I don't know what to do. Oh my God, Facebook, help me.
That's gonna be him.
I can't believe this shit.
It's gonna be this nigga.
I'm really curious because these young dudes
with her. I just thought she was official.
Right, it's crazy.
These young dudes, they don't have a social life. How you 26? Now, assuming he's telling the truth, and the last time he hollered at her was like 2 Fridays ago.
Right.
How you ain't doing shit and met no other women in that time frame? You just sitting around waiting for her to finally call you back.
Right.
I don't understand this shit.
See, Lovely T said, when we like a guy, it's all gas, no brakes.
Facts. Women go hard when they really into you, especially if you've been fucking them right too. Bro, they come in full steam ahead. Matter of fact, you screening your call like, damn, she calling me again.
Right. Facts. But listen, we about to head up out of here because I gotta head out and do some stuff. But man, K-Zag, and I appreciate you coming through, man. Real talk. You know what I'm saying?
No problem, man.
We gotta let these guys know what the deal is with this game here. But listen, man, we appreciate it. All y'all tune in, and we'll send you off with some rosebud real quick.
Hi, how you doing? You think I give a fuck about how you doing, bitch? All I want you to motherfucking do is open your mouth and say something so I can hear how your voice sounds so it can tell me how the fuck to get at you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, people. So we'll see. I'm gonna see you guys tonight, 10 p.m. Me and Miles is gonna be on. So tune in, and we appreciate y'all, man. We'll holler at y'all later. Remember, the truth is inside you. Peace. We gone.